Being an entrepreneur slash business owner, if you rather or prefer to be called that, that's fine with me. I like business owner more than I like the word entrepreneur. To me, entrepreneur just sounds like a hustler nowadays. I'm just a hustler. But if I'm like, hey, I'm a business owner, then it implies that I have a business, right? So, but being an entrepreneur, just for the sake of this video, we'll say that, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for people who are not sure about what they want to accomplish. It's not for people who are quick-tempered, not for people who are quick to give up. It's not for any of that. If you want to legitimately be an entrepreneur or be a business owner, then you have to understand, it's going to be hard work. But the difference between the successful ones and the non-successful ones, those who give up and those who don't give up, those who persist, right? Those who are consistent, is that they fully understand what it's going to take going in, or they have some idea, some semblance of, hey, it's going to take some work. I'm going to have to push myself. There's going to be some ups. There's going to be some downs. There's going to be some good days. Unfortunately, there's going to be some bad days, but I'm committed to the process of getting my business developed over the next 2 to 3 years. And that's a big part of it. Getting your business developed over the next 2 to 3 years. The real entrepreneur is going to talk like that and say, I understand that there's going to be some days of frustration. There's going to be some days of excitement. And, there's going to be days where you just want to go home, unlock the door, crawl back into bed, turn off your phone. And you already know how I know this. I already been through this. I've already checked in and checked out, so to speak, right? I've had to deal with the workers. Because somebody asked the other day, it was like, what was the hardest part of growing your business? The hardest part of growing business for me was not getting customers. I felt like that was pretty easy because customers are already looking for a mover because they don't want to move themselves. So the customers already have a problem. They're already looking for that solution. So that wasn't a big deal. You could literally just ask 5 friends and somebody's either moving or know someone who needs to move. Especially nowadays where everything is more expensive, that means a lot more people are going to be moving. So finding customers was never like a hard thing to accomplish. Finding a lot of customers or consistent customers, that's a little different story. But just finding a customer, no, you can get a customer. You can be cheap and a customer is going to call you. I don't recommend that, but you'll get a customer. But hiring crew, keeping consistent crew, finding guys that valued the brand, valued the company, wanted to be a part of it, wanted to see the company grow, that was the harder part. Yeah, so that was the hardest part is finding guys who consistently, wanted to be a part of the company, elevate the company. Whenever I first started out, I had guys that were not buying in. If you could get the guys to buy in, or the girls, you'll have a really, really good company. But they weren't buying in. I made crucial mistakes up early in the process. Was paying guys same day. Never do that. One of the big reasons you don't is because sometimes it takes a day or two for you to get paid from your customer. Customer customer could pay with a card or something like that. So it takes a couple of days sometimes with the vendor, with the merchant account. So you don't want to be in a position where you're paying out money you haven't received. Secondly, and probably the most important part is that whenever you do it that way, a lot of these guys, and you have to understand this, a lot of these guys are just working to get paid. A lot of these guys, and I found this out, they were, had drug problems, had alcohol problems, just wanted to get a bill paid for that day. So they were treating my company, and a lot of them probably do this with you, treating your company like day labor, right? So you get the guys and the girls who treat your business like day labor, where you show up in the morning, hopefully there's an assignment, you go out, you do some work, you come back, you get paid. And trust me, the people who are in the day labor, because I've done it, they need that money today. So I'm telling you that if you build that kind of culture, they're going to expect that from you. It's like having a kid, right? And if you tell the kid, hey, don't jump on the sofa, right? And you're stern and you mean it, you give them that look, hey, don't jump on that sofa again. Not saying it again. And you know kids, they're going to test you. And so adults do the same thing, because even though these guys might be 25, 30, 35, 40, mentally they're still children. In a lot of cases. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just saying there's an intelligence level, right? There's a difference, or I'll say it this way, it's probably a better way. Maturity doesn't always accompany age. Is that fair? Because I know I probably got some woke people on this channel. I don't care. Okay? But it doesn't always follow age, and so what you get is you get a 45-year-old who thinks like a 20-year-old, right? And those are not leaders. It's hard to develop them into leaders, because you gotta erase so much bad information, so much misinformation, so much immaturity, and that's a challenge. It's easier to find someone who has leadership qualities and capabilities that you can just, I'm not gonna say evolve, but develop. You can just develop them into a leader. Because I know people say leaders are created. Leaders are born. I disagree. I think leaders are developed. There are some people out here right now in this world today that you would have a hard time turning into a leader. Because they have to buy in. They have to start with themselves to develop into a leader. But there are some people who's got some really good qualities, and you might look at it and say, you know what, with a little paint job here, a little kitchen redo, a little makeup right here, I have myself a leader. I'm dating a 5, she's a 5 to a 6. But I tell you what, if I can do this, if I can do that, if I can get on some makeup, get her some earrings, get her hair done, get her teeth fixed, and blah, blah, blah. I'm being facetious. No, I'm not. And my homeboy told me that. You could probably get her up to a 7. Now you got a 7. Now you can take her out in public. Right? All right, that's too much. But again, the point I'm making is whenever I started out, I went through a lot of tough times. And when guys treat your business like day labor, those are the guys you're going to continually get. So you got to make sure you establish culture. Culture is so important. Culture is so important that McDonald's workers don't apply for work at Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A workers won't apply for jobs at McDonald's because of culture. Culture is so important. You see professional teams saying, no, this guy's a great player. Yes, but he's going to disrupt my locker room. That's another word for culture. We don't want that, right? And so culture is something you have to establish in order to get the right crew, in order to get the right guys. And then once you get them in, excuse me, you start to create some incentive programs to make them work for themselves. Because you got to understand that they're going to come in, they're going to work a little bit for you, but they'll work a lot harder for themselves. And so unless you give them some type of beautiful incentive to hustle and work for, they're not going to go as hard. But if you come in, for instance, what we would do is we come in and say, hey, if we get 10 5-stars in a row, $50 bonus for everybody. And so now I've done 2 things just with that post. I've created an environment of hustlers and go-getters. No matter what position they were in, they're ready to go get that money. Right? And number 2, I've created accountability, which means that guys who weren't being held accountable are now being held accountable. Guys who were kind of quiet and not doing what they should do, and no one's telling them anything. Like you just let them not wrap the television and bring it out, and now you've got guys who are accountable. Hey, wrap that up. I need that 5-star review. I need that extra 50. And you might push it to 100 in a month, but I'm telling you, throw some type of bonus where, hey, if it's 5 stars, 10 in a row, it's only $5 each. And 10 in a row is $50. And it's worth it because let's say, for instance, you have 10 guys and you drop $500. Fine. That's one job for you, number one. Number two, that 500, because of those 10 5-star reviews, that's going to make you 5,000. 10 times what you're investing into it. So to me, it's worth it. So again, create the culture. And then one quick thing also before I wrap, one quick thing is other than building the right culture, other than incentivizing, other than making sure laborers and helpers don't treat your business like a temp job, because you got to get you're only going to get a handful of leaders. Only a handful of people are going to buy in. So don't get distressed when 70% of the guys, 7 out of 10 don't buy in. Don't get stressed. You're trying to build a brand. Everybody's not for you. Everybody's not going to stay in your company. Everybody's not going to be a match. You're going to date 10 girls, 3 might be good for you to continue dating. But don't beat yourself up. You're not worried about that. We're worried about the 3 that we're going to develop. And those 3 are going to be 3 U's, right? So 3 of you, 3 manager types in the business. Now you can go and park 3 crews under each one of these guys. Well, 1 crew under each guy, right? 3 crews total. Now you got a crew under this guy, crew, right? And now what do? Give guys a portion of what their trucks make on top of their salary. What? Yeah, you want to build a business? You're talking about getting to $1 million in the next 2 to 3 years. I'm telling you how to do it. You're not going to be able to do it if you keep rotating your crew. You're not going to have a culture. You're not going to have any chemistry. The secret to building a successful business is to have successful-minded people. I talked to you about this. People, product, and process. People, product, process. People, product, process. Why do I say people first? Exactly. Because no matter how good your product or process is, if you don't have the right people leading your brand, being the face of your company, and they are the face of your company when they're out, you're not going to have success. You're not going to have success. Don't go through the fire I went through. I'm telling you, it burns. I went through hell trying to find the right people. I've been in situations. It's funny because one of the guys in my class, in my training class, he said this. He said, Sean, the reason I bought the training course from you and the reason I got in your training, your coaching, is because when you were saying certain things, he said, man, I knew that you had to be in the customers' houses to know this. And he said, as soon as you said those things, I knew right away you were in the customers' houses. And he said, the things you were saying, you got to be in the customer's house to know that. And he's true, but you guys are going to find this funny. I've had situations where I've almost had to get into a fist fight with guys because I didn't want to pay them that day. Because I knew, and here's a good point, one of the primary reasons I don't like paying same day is guys won't come back the next day. They'll come back when they need some more money, but they usually don't come back the next day. Never pay on a Thursday or Friday. You won't see them all weekend. Always pay on a Monday or Tuesday. That way, you guarantee they will be there on the weekend. Man, I hope this helps. I got to go, guys. I got a lot to do in the office today. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. You need coaching, write the word coaching in the comments. Let me know. If you want to get into the masterclass training in December, I'll drop the link. And if you want to just grab the online training, it's about 3 hours, 30 days to 25K. Go ahead and grab that. It's on sale for Christmas. I'll put the links down below. Either way, I'll see you in any one of them. If you want the one-on-one training, just write coaching, and then we'll have somebody reach out to you. Otherwise, peace. Have a great day, guys. Be safe.